Now, this summer, Newstalk Breakfast is asking you to help us find the places that define Ireland. Now, it could be anywhere across the country from Glencolmkill to Bale-na-Blah. The most important thing is that you let us know where matters to you. You can log on to our website, newstalk.ie/defining Ireland, or contribute to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/defining Ireland to tell us what defines Ireland for you. Now, today is the turn of the West, and the presenter of Davenport After Dark and Lonely Planet writer Fionn Davenport joins us in studio now. Hi, Fionn.
Morning, Shane.
How's it going?
Very good, yeah. So defining Ireland, and just to reiterate, what we're looking for is the places that you the listener think define the country. And we've just to kind of to aid matters, we've divided into 5 different categories. So characteristic hotels and restaurants, historic attractions, iconic landscapes, traditional pubs and bars, and festivals and cultural events. Pretty much all of the things that we would go to visit or to go to experience. And as you said, we're going to start with the West, which is kind of the tourist heavy hitter, really, because it's got plenty of candidates in all 5 categories. So
what county we're talking?
We're talking Galway, Clare and Mayo.
Okay.
And
beautiful county.
Oh yeah, and you know, and as I said, the tourist heavy hitters, it's like as popular with us as it is with foreign visitors. Yeah. I think there's lots of contenders, and now we put it out and we've gotten a few responses back. Like, people are saying, like, it's interesting is like Nemo's Ardbia as a restaurant in Galway is very, very popular. Doolin Point in Clare is also very popular, but someone's saying, but Clare County Council have plans to destroy the area with an 80-metre long concrete pier, which I hadn't heard. Maria in Westport says, I might be biased, but the Reek, Crowpatrick in Westport, she's also mentioned Inishboffin, Clare and Achill Islands are special places. All of and so
Clare Island is amazing.
Oh yeah, no, so absolutely. So, like, for instance, like let's go by category. So in characteristic hotels and restaurants, if I was to kind of throw in just a handful of suggestions, I would say the likes of Delphi Lodge in County Mayo, Kilmervy House on Inishmore, the Old Ground Hotel in Ennis, all terrific. We mentioned Ardbia and Nemo's. I 100% would agree with that. If I had to pick one place, now this is just my own choice. It's and I would certainly welcome listeners to throw in their own. There's Jim Cullinan, who is a local musician in County Clare and Doolin. He and his wife Carol have this guest house called Cullinan's, which I think is the epitome of the great Irish B&B.
Okay, what's so special about it?
Well, what's so special about it is that the 8 rooms are kind of, they're not overly fancy. It's the welcome. Once you come in, like, you know you're in somebody's home and someone's taken the care to kind of say, come in, here's your room. The food is divine. There's a restaurant attached. The breakfast, you get 3 different kinds of breakfast. And when I was updating for Lonely Planet, I've stayed there kind of on the quiet. I would, you know, you don't tell people where you're coming from. And I have to say, no matter who you are, the welcome is superb. And the fact that it's owned by a local musician, and Doolin has a great musical tradition, and so it's tied into the local culture and community. It's just one of many, many places, but for me, it's always somewhere that I've enjoyed.
Let's talk historic attractions.
Okay, historic attractions, you know, you could start in Galway City with the Spanish Arch, the medieval walls, the Ailwee Caves in County Clare, Bunratty Castle and Folk Park, which kind of people laugh at, but Bunratty Castle's an impressive place. The Folk Park, slightly less so, I think. The ruins of Holy Island on Lough Derg, the Clare side of the lough, and so on. If I had to pick one, it's Dunangus on Inishmore. Whether you're coming in on the 7-minute flight from Galway or you're getting the choppy boat across, the view of the island with the kind of the walls that kind of line up sheer to the cliffs, it's just one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in all my travels. So for me, Dunangus would be the one. I just think it's absolutely magnificent.
This is the thing you've always seen in the history book from school. Do you know what I mean? This is the picture that's always used.
Yeah, I always think you look and you go, are you mad to be living there? Like, you know, like the monks that live there, or the pre-Celts that live there. It is, and it's not just an attraction that is of value to the West or to Ireland, but it's one of the world attractions. Like, you know, if you know, it's smaller, but you know, I think it's just as important as, I don't know, the temples of Angkor Wat.
So how difficult to get to, though? So you're talking from Galway, 7-minute flight.
Yeah, it's a 7-minute flight,
and then a bit of a walk.
Yeah, I don't know. Then it's a bit of a walk. Alternatively, you can get the boat across if you've got sea legs.
Yeah,
which I don't.
It's a great trip across.
It's a superb trip across, and so the whole experience of going there and you seeing, and you know that that this fort was built thousands of years ago. There's something really magical about it. Anyway,
okay, we're good at history, but we're also good at iconic landscapes.
Iconic landscapes is like, if you're looking for iconic landscapes in Ireland, the West is chocker with them. So the obvious contenders are the Cliffs of Moher, the Burren, the Aran Islands. Inisheer is very, very beautiful, and not as many people go to it as they should. Achill Island, Connemara, the Lough Ina Valley in Connemara is Croagh Patrick is fabulous. Clew Bay, like the list goes on. Now I'm going to pick one, and particularly biggest for me in a defining Ireland kind of way, the Dulac Valley in it straddles Galway and Mayo, and it's not just
stunning,
a stunning, beautiful part of the world, but it's attached to the tragic famine walk in 1849, where 400 people were asked to show up to get famine relief, but the officers who were charged with dispensing famine relief were all having a big feast up at Delphi Lodge, and so in horrible conditions in the middle of the winter they walked across, and a whole bunch of people died. Like, folklore says that all 400 died on this walk, whatever, but it's got history, it's got beauty. If you do the walk now on a good day, which I would recommend, like the loch itself is stunning with the sheer.
It's Ireland's only glacial valley, I think.
Isn't it? Killary, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's absolutely. Well, I think it's stunning. I've walked it. It's 12 miles.
It's on that road between Westport and Lanark.
Up to Lewisburg. To Lanark. Yeah.
To Lanark, yeah.
That's right.
It is incredible. Okay, we also like a pint or two.
Well, this is another thing, and without, the fact is whether we like it or not, and we can grumble about, how we deal with drink and all the rest of it, but the traditional pub experience is number one or number two in the reasons why anybody would come to this country. It's one of our unique selling points. It's a fabulous thing to do, is to go. So many, like, I'm going to name a few that I've always enjoyed. Kieran's Bar in Ennis, Morrissey's in Doonbeg, all the pubs of Doolin, McGann's, O'Connor's, McDermott's. In Mayo, Matt Malloy's in Westport, superb pub. Linnet's in Cashel on Achill Island is one I've always liked. And of course, Galway City's full of great pubs.
I throw in one myself, Staunton's in Canvey outside Westport. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, these again is like, for every person who's been to a pub in the west of Ireland, there's a favourite. It's not. I'm going to pick one. It's Chicoly in Galway. For the reason is that, unlike Nocton's, it's popular. Chicoly is where the musicians who play in all the other pubs in Galway go to drink or get drunk, But it has that mix of atmosphere. It's not four old men just sipping a pint in a corner and you can hear the clock ticking. It's got atmosphere, it's got buoyancy, it's got music, but it's also a great, authentic Irish bar.
Okay, festivals and cultural events.
And again, the West has got an inordinate amount of great festivals, and Flanua in Ennis, the Ennis Trad Festival, the Court Festival of Literature in Galway, the Arts Festival, Film Fla, which just finished, Race Week, the Oyster Festivals in Galway and Clarenbridge. There's Ted Fest on Inishmore. I'm going to pick the Willie Clancy Irish Music Festival in Milltown Malbay. Again, tribute to a great native son, one of Ireland's greatest pipers. I asked somebody there, it's been going for 40 odd years, I asked them how such a huge affair can just keep going for 4 decades, and a local turns around and says, no one knows, it just does. I just thought that was such a great answer.
It just happens.
And it's got the best musicians, best trad musicians in the country will all show up to play. So for me, that's the one that I like.
Okay, so you're not going to pick a winner today now?
Absolutely not. No, and it's not up to me to pick a winner, because at the end of the 8 weeks, when we've covered the country, the listener will pick the winners. What we are is we're going to try and create a short list of 25 or so, and then pick the 10 that define Ireland the most. So this is just the ones in the West, but again, make sure you can defining Ireland at newstalk.ie is the email address. Throw in your suggestions. These are just mine. Yeah. And we encourage the listeners. We also have a Facebook page, Defining Ireland on Newstalk. Is the
good stuff. And you're back next week with?
Yes, we're going to do. I actually don't know what we're going to do next week. I'll tweet it.
Okay, and we'll let you know maybe tomorrow on that.
Yes.
All of Fionn's notes on Defining Ireland, including all of the shortcuts to the festivals and things like that, because there's just a wealth of information in that, will be on the Breakfast website shortly after the show, newstalk.ie/breakfast, and on there you can see what Fionn has picked, and also if you want to see what's happening over the summer and which festivals are on, and also some of the sites and some of the names of the guest houses and things like that, and the pubs that Fionn mentioned. All of it will be up shortly on newstalk.ie/breakfast. A few good texts on it as well. I know I may be biased, but but along the Reek, Croagh-Patrick and Westport, Inishbofin, Clare, Achill Islands, very special to me. Beautiful day here today, said Maria in Westport. And good morning, Maria. And the cliff walks in Kilkee, I have to say, surpass the cliffs of Moher as an experience. You can get a view of blue-black against a pink sky on your right and Mount Brandon on your left on a clear night. Beautiful. So keep your texts coming into us on that 53106. But as Fionn said, best way to get in touch, definingireland@newstalk.ie.